Okay, in this video, I'm going to be going over the audio ducking capability in Resolve 15. I think this was introduced in one of the betas of 15, but I'll be demonstrating it in version 15.21. So basically what audio ducking is when you have a vocal track and you want to run music behind it, kind of as a background, but you basically want it to, the music's level to drop whenever you have someone speaking, and then you want it to kind of rise up so you can hear it whenever there's a silent space in the vocal track. So basically the music will, or the third track, or the music track, backing track, will duck down when someone's speaking, and then the level will rise back up again. And you can tweak when that happens and how much it happens. So that's capable from the Fairlight tab. So here I have a video with two audio tracks. You could also just have a stereo track. And then I have on the third track I have the music. So I'll basically see here, and it goes along and starts. So you basically come to the Fairlight track, come over to the Fairlight tab, click on that, and you can then kind of adjust the sliders here so you can see what you're working with the waveforms and everything, get it the way you like it. And basically where this is done is under the dynamics panels under your mixer, so you're going to make sure that you can see them, and then you can access your tracks of audio you want. So since I have two mono tracks of audio and then the third audio track, which is the music background, I'm just going to use one of these basically as the kind of controller of how the audio is lowered, the levels are lowered and raised back up again. So again, whenever there's actual someone speaking in the vocal track, then the audio will duck down, and then when there's any silent spaces, the volume will come back up again. So first you go to one of the channels that you want to basically listen for, and you see here under compressor, you make sure you have compressor selected, and then from the track you want to listen to, or the one that has the vocals on it, you click send, and you can kind of tweak this the way you normally would if you want to correct any kind of issues with the audio. But here I'm just going to leave it as it's at its default. And you can close that down, and then you come to the third track, or your music track, the background track, and you go to the dynamics, and it's still the compressor, but this time you want it to listen. And basically what it does is then when it hears something on the other track, it'll duck the audio down, and then when there's a silent space, it'll bring it back up again. And these 5 controls are what you adjust to control that. So one thing you're going to want to do is have the threshold fairly low, and this will affect kind of how loud it gets. So if you want to keep it fairly soft, kind of adjust it here, keep it fairly low. And then the ratio is how much a difference is between when someone's speaking, how loud the music is, and then during the silent spot, what that ratio is, the difference. So at least to start off with, you probably want this pretty high. So just set it to like 20:1, and then you can adjust it down if you want to get the ratio right. Then this knob down here is attack. That's how quickly, once you hear something on the vocal track, how quickly it ducks the audio, brings the audio down. So you want to have that fairly low, so it's in milliseconds. So you can keep that in like the 1, 2, 3 millisecond range. Hold is how long it will keep it ducked once the audio on the vocal track kind of falls off. When you get the silent space, how long it'll hold it, so that it's not immediately coming back up the volume. So you probably want that somewhere between, say, I don't know, between 400 and 800 milliseconds. I usually keep it like in the 600-700 millisecond range. Again, that depends on how you want to use it, but it keeps the silence a little bit longer before the music comes in, so that in little short spots of silence in your vocal track, the music won't come up if it's just for like half a second. It's got to be over half a second before it starts coming back up again. And release is how quickly it will release it once it does come up. So you kind of want that around its default, which would probably be somewhere around 90 to 100 milliseconds. So just keep it somewhere in that range. And those are the basic settings, and you just play it through. So in this next section here, I'll go through and I'll play it, and you can hear the difference in the ducking, and then I'll adjust the settings here, and you'll see kind of how that affects it. So I'll do that in this section now. Okay, in this quick video, I'm going to show you how to duplicate a timeline in the newest version of Resolve 15.2. They changed it up a little bit from even just the previous incarnations of Resolve 15. So basically they have this new capability where you can see what area of the screen that you have the focus on. So right here I have the timeline. If I click over here, I'll have the media pool. You can see the red line up there. So basically with this new way of duplicating timeline, it's different depending upon which area you have selected. So first I'll make sure that the timeline is selected down here, timeline area. Now if I go up to edit, you'll see what you're looking for, duplicate timeline. If I click on that, then it makes a copy of the timeline. But it used to be you'd have that same option if you were over here in the media pool. You just have the media pool selected, come to edit, you'll see it grayed out, but it says duplicate clip. So basically if you want to duplicate the timeline from the media pool. So with that example, you can see how the audio ducks down whenever there's someone talking, and then the audio is brought up when there's a silence in that track. And you can also go into the different settings here and adjust them and get it to work the way you'd like it to. Main thing you gotta remember is that on the audio channel, or the channel where you have the speaking, you want to make sure that's set to send, and then the one with the music with the backing audio, you want that to make sure that's set to listen. And that's basically all there is to the audio ducking in Resolve 15, and hopefully you found this useful, and I thank you for watching.